Welcome back to another video. So as you can tell from the fact that I am sat in my office, I did not film many clips on Saturday when I trained, but there was a reason for it. So Saturday was a bit of a busy one, well, kind of busy. So my brother came home at the weekend and it was my mum's birthday, which is why he came home. So on Saturday we had lunch together and the lunch was planned for 12:30. We didn't end up having lunch until 1:30, so I didn't have to rush myself around in the morning. But basically, I wanted to be finished training before we ate, just because we were going to have a takeaway, like fish and chips lunch, and I didn't want to train after eating that because I thought I'd probably feel quite sluggish. It's a relatively heavy week, like it's week 3 of 4, so better to train before and just get it done. Also, I want to train earlier every weekend. I say this all the time, I never actually do it because I am so good at procrastinating. Please ignore my WhatsApp going mental. Yeah, so it's muted, fine. Right, so basically, yeah, Saturday morning, I wanted to be done training by 12:30, but I actually ended up getting up earlier than expected. I think I was up just before 7, showered, had my breakfast while I was replying to clients, got a couple of programs done before I left. Like, I was in such good time on Saturday. I think I left here just after 9, so I was at my parents' by 9:30, and then my dad was just finishing up at the gym when I got there. So I started training like 10:30 and I was done by 12. So when I started at 10:30, I was like, oh, I'll easily be done by 12:30. 2 hours for this session, absolutely fine. Like, it's a relatively heavy session, so I like to allow myself time for rest breaks. But then actually, as I was doing it, I was like, I don't need a rest. I'm going to try and get this done in an hour and a half. So I was very happy to get the entire session done by 12. So that includes setting up and clearing up the gym, warm-ups, everything. So squat, bench and RDLs all done in an hour and a half, which I think is pretty good for week 3. I am a relatively quick lifter anyway, like I like to train relatively fast, which is partly what I think screwed me over at my last comp because we had such long breaks, because it was a big flight. Anyway, ramble, that's fine. So anyway, let me show you how the session went, and then what I'm also going to do, I put a Q&A box up on my Instagram a few days ago, and I didn't answer any of them on Instagram, which was actually the intended plan, but I feel like I've forgotten about it for too long now that I might as well just answer the questions in a video, which is what I sometimes do anyway. So let's have a look at how the session went. I'll talk you through it, and then I'll go through some questions.
What happened? Brianna's such a goddess, could get anyone she likes. But when she's looking at me like that, I know she's only mine. My friends think she's so dumb and stupid, but I won't tell anyone. Her hands are in my hair, whisper in my ear. I won't tell anyone, not a soul. But when we are alone, she's touching me. To me, the way she's looking at me, she's so damn perfect. It's so damn worth it. The secret we keep.
Okay, so squats first. Squats went incredibly well. 162.5 for 4. Like, it was really comfortable. The last rep was a little bit slower, but I've said this many times in the past. I think this happens for most people. The last rep of a set is never the best executed. Like, obviously you're fatigued and stuff by that point, but that's not even what I mean. It's almost like, you know, it's the final rep, so you just kind of stop trying. Not a good thing to do, don't recommend, but I know myself and I know that I do that. Without like consciously making the decision to do that, it just literally happens. So I'm very talking with my hands a lot. Basically, 162.5 for 4 felt incredibly comfortable. Like, you can see me kind of smiling and laughing in between reps. Like, it was really comfortable. It felt really solid. Squats, like warm-ups felt great. I mean, I did 70, 120, and even the 120, I normally can't tell at that point how the squat session is going to go, but it felt so smooth. Jumped straight to 145, did a single at 145, felt really good, and then just jumped straight to 162 because I just felt like I was ready to go. And it was quite a warm, well, it was raining, but it was quite a warm day, so that helped as well. And then back offs, 4s at 150 felt so smooth. This is where I made the decision to just rush through the session. I think I had about 2 minutes rest after my top set. I think I literally went in for a pee, came back, did my first set of 150 without even really stopping. And it was just really comfortable. So I was like, oh. So then literally I'd sit for like a minute and be like, okay, I'm gonna go again. So I had about 2 minutes rest between each set, which was great. And then I had bench. So bench also went incredibly well. So, well, bench was a bit hit and miss, but overall I'm happy with how it went, basically. I benched 112. I didn't actually have much confidence going in for the 112. So my elbows, mentioned this many times over the last few blocks, to be fair. My elbows have been incredibly tender lately and they felt quite bad again on Saturday. I didn't take any ibuprofen on Saturday, which is the first session where I haven't had any. And to be honest, I didn't really notice that much on squats. It was more just bench, but it's fine. It's definitely getting better. But the 107.5 wasn't amazing, my last warm up. But I jumped to 112 anyway, because like I'm not taking a 2.5 kilo jump, like I'm gonna load it. I think in my mind, like it's a mental thing of, at comp I failed 110, so I'm almost like, can I even bench above 110 anymore? But then I was like, you haven't failed 112 in training in months, you can do this. So I loaded it anyway. And actually in the moment, it felt really bad. My elbows were so sore, like I didn't pause it for that long. It was slightly paused, but I think because my elbows are sore, it's just uncomfortable to hold it in that position. And it felt a lot slower on the way up than it actually was. And I felt like my butt came right up, which, I mean, this camera angle will probably do me a bit more dirty than my phone camera angle did. On my phone, I think it stayed down. If it did come up, it was only ever so slightly, which, I mean, it happens. I need to fix it and address the problem, but you know, not right now. So yeah, 112 moved really well, actually, all things considered. Like, obviously I would like 112 to be a lot quicker than that at this point, but it moved pretty well. And then back offs, first 2 sets, very good, very comfortable, but came up a bit more than I wanted it to. But it was a really good, comfortable couple of sets. They were like slightly paused, exactly what the goal is for those back offs. Third set I rushed because I think I got a little bit arrogant, thinking that because the first 2 felt really good, I'd be fine. And normally it is the last couple of sets on bench that I do obviously feel the fatigue. So third set wasn't incredible. And then fourth set, I got 4 reps in, was like, oh, this is so much better than the last set. And my foot started to slip a bit more than I could deal with, because normally, obviously, my feet do slip a little bit throughout the set, and that's fine. I can kind of manage it. But on that last set, my left foot was slipping so much that I had to readjust before I went in for the 5th rep, and that just threw me off. And I did fail a rep, but I was fine with it, actually. Obviously, I say fine with it, I wanted to get it, but I didn't beat myself up about it. I literally just stopped benching and just moved on. Like, it was the final set, it was the final rep. There was no point redoing the set, redoing the rep, or anything like that. Like, it was literally just because my foot slipped. Like, I could feel my positioning just completely falter after that. So it's fine. Also, another reason why I think sinking bench will be better for me, because I think my feet will be in a better position overall anyway. But that's a story for another time. Yeah, then I did RDLs. I just did a set of 6 at 100, a set of 6 at 110, and then I dropped down and did a set of 6 at 100 again. Normally for that session, I would do much lighter RDLs because it's then going into my heaviest week of the block. But because it's the first block back post-comp and I've only just started pushing my RDLs, like I wanted to just push it and just see how I got on. And yeah, it was fine. 110 felt heavier than it did last week, but that's not a problem. I did the session a lot quicker. I say a lot quicker. I did the session quite a lot quicker considering the fact that it was that much heavier than the week before. So yeah, I'm happy. It was a really good session, to be fair, and I'm so happy that I got done so quickly, and it was lovely to be done by 12. Yeah, and then the rest of the day was just literally spent chilling out with my family, watching the football. Yeah, nothing to really report. It was a good session. I'm happy with how it went. I'm feeling in a really good position going into week 4, which was something I was a bit nervous about because it is the first block after comp. I was worried that I'd like overestimated my capabilities for this first block back, but I feel like I'm in good stride and it's going to go well. I'm telling myself it's going to go well. Also, body weight is sitting at like 86 in the morning, so that's really good considering I still haven't gone back to 100% tracking. Mostly tracking, but it's just like when things come up, social things, family things, at the moment, like this first few weeks after comp, like I need to live a little bit more. And part of that is, you know, I come from a foodie family. I'm in a foodie relationship, like that's just part of it. But I think for the most part, I'm back on track. Also think it's worth mentioning, like, I think my motivation to 100% be back on track is there now because I have, as of today, accepted my invitation to compete at the Commonwealth. So my next competition is just under 14 weeks away. I think I compete on like Thursday, the 10th of October, according to the preliminary schedule, so it could change. But I can't imagine it probably will change at this point, and it would make sense for the 84 women to compete around then. So I am just under 14 weeks out, which makes me think that like I might have another week or so of slightly more lapsed eating, but for the most part I'm ready to now cut down, especially because I do have a hen do and a wedding 5 and 6 weeks out of the comp that I am travelling for. So the hen do is abroad. It's only like, I think it's 3 nights away, so it shouldn't be anything too bad. And to be honest, I'll probably end up under eating rather than overeating when I'm there, and I don't drink anyway, so that will be fine. And then the week after is my friend's wedding, so I will be away for that as well. But again, it's probably more likely to be an under eating thing than an overeating. I don't drink, so I won't really have to worry about that sort of thing. I think my weight will probably be quite steady from that, if anything, drop a little bit. And then I know that I'll be able to train either way because of the days that it falls on. It lands quite well for me in terms of my training week. I might have to do a little session while I'm abroad, but that would be an accessory day anyway, so that's not a problem. And my friend is completely understanding of the fact that I have training and stuff to do. Like, she's really understanding, so I don't have to worry about any of it. But I'm not going to even plan for that at the moment. I'm just going to cruise through. But the only thing I am being mindful of is the fact that I do need to get my body weight where I want it to be, which, to be honest, if I fly out at 86 kilos, that's, or well, depending on when I fly out, obviously if I fly out a day out and I'm 86, that's not ideal. But yeah, if I have to cut from 86 for comp, basically, I am fine with that. I am mentally prepared to do a cut. But also, if I can get down without having to really cut my calories just from doing extra steps and stuff, then why not? Like, one less thing to think about with traveling and stuff as well. So we'll see. But I will obviously update on what I do in terms of that stuff nearer to the time. I think I need to book my flights in like the next day though. So who is dumb enough to buy a house on the same, like in the same 5-month period, then returning to international level competition that is self-funded? That is the other thing that I'm stressing over, but it's fine. I kind of knew that this was probably going to be how the year fell, so just got to plan ahead. Okay, so I also want to go through some questions from my Instagram Q&A in this video. I won't go through many because I've definitely talked enough for one video, but I'm just going to pick 3. So someone asked me how the new house is going. So the new house is going really well. So we moved in here the 2nd week of May, I think it was. It was when I was 5 weeks out from comp. So the first couple of weeks we did spend decorating and trying to get things nice and tidy and everything. But we then paused because I wanted to just focus completely on comp, and if I start something I have to finish it. So it was like, okay, right, my office is painted, we've kind of found a bit of a home for everything, everything's tidy enough to live with for now, we'll pick it back up once I've competed. Currently haven't picked everything back up. Like, we've started to try and make more space and stuff, but we just basically need to buy more furniture to be able to actually store stuff. We need to start putting stuff up in the loft to actually get it out of the way. Like, we've got a lot of things that we don't really need, that we just want to put out of the way while we decorate, and then we can decide if we want a home for it or not. But yeah, no, the house is really good. It's just a very weird feeling actually being a homeowner and being allowed to do things to a house. I want to crack on and get more stuff done in terms of decorating it. I want to get it finished, but also I just don't have the time at the moment to do that. Like, I work a full-time job still. My coaching roster is pretty much another full-time job as well. Like, I've had a lot of new clients come on since moving, which is amazing and I'm incredibly thankful for. But at this point, like, I also don't have time to then decorate if I also want time to sit and relax. So plan is to start kind of decorating and stuff again soon, but that's, you know, not high on the priorities. Like, I feel like we're at a point where everything has kind of got a bit of our home, even if it's not the final home, but it's enough that we can enjoy living here. The other thing that I am excited about though is we are getting the garage roof replaced sometime in the next, I'd say like 6-ish weeks, hopefully. We've picked the company that's going to do it. They're going to come out soon for like a proper assessment, and then we're going to get the garage roof replaced and the garage door replaced, because currently it is just rusty, and the roof is like an old asbestos roof that leaks when it rains. So I don't really want to fill it with expensive gym equipment if it's going to be raining and leaking and probably making it all go rusty. But we have bought all the gym equipment that we're going to be using in there. So one of the local lifters is selling his home gym kit. He is storing it for us for now because we've not really got anywhere to put it. Which is why I'm really hoping the roof gets done sooner rather than later, because otherwise we're just going to have a living room full of home gym equipment, which we won't be able to use because there won't be enough space to use it, but it will just be clutter and mess, but that's fine. We'll make it work. But yeah, I'm really excited to actually get the home gym done. That was something we weren't going to probably do for a good year or so at least, because we want to get everything else done. Like, we need a new bathroom. The kitchen really does need replacing at some point, although my dad fits kitchen, so he'll be doing that for us at some point. But yeah, but they were meant to be like the priorities, especially the bathroom. We really want to get the driveway done as well, because it's just not great at the moment. But again, that would probably last on the list because it's outside. It's like out of sight, out of mind. But you know, the gym wasn't supposed to be done yet, basically. But it's kind of all just fell, like all of this equipment, we might as well buy it. It's a local lifter. Everything is in one place already. We literally need to hire a van, one trip, bring it here, done. So basically it just meant we had to get the roof done a bit sooner than we wanted to, or than that we were planning to. But I mean, once it's done, it's done. Only issue I have got is the fact that I have basically bought all this equipment, I bought a house in May, and then in June bought all this gym equipment, paying for a new roof and paying to go to Commonwealth, all in the span of like 4 months. Not the smartest financial decision, but it's fine. You have to make it work. Been planning. I did, to be fair, I kind of expected to buy a house and do Commonwealth this year. Well, I was pretty much certain that it was going to happen. It was just whether or not I decided to do Commonwealth. So I've been very cautious. I mean, I'm always funny with saving money. Like, I do not spend if I don't have to spend. But like the last 6-7 months especially, I have just been saving every penny I can to prepare for this. So it's fine. But if anyone, you know, if anyone wants to pay for my entire trip to South Africa and back, please let me know. I'm kidding, obviously. But yeah, no, that was a lot of ramble. I don't feel like that was a very good answer, but basically the house is going really well. I'm excited to get more of it done, and I'm very excited to get the home gym done. So I also feel like I'll be more comfortable filming content in my own home gym rather than my parents' garage, especially like when they're about and stuff. So yeah, that was meant to be a short answer to say the house is going really well, and it turned into a story that no one asked for. Next question I wanted to answer was, how is my coaching going? Which I feel like I've touched on slightly already. My coaching is going really well. So I purposefully didn't really advertise before we moved, simply because balancing obviously a full-time job with coaching isn't the easiest of things to do, and especially because coaching is what I want to do long term. I don't want to take people on if I don't have the time to take them on and give them all of the time that they need, that they deserve. So I wasn't selective with taking people on, but I was just very careful about spacing people out and making sure that before I took on another lifter, that the person I've taken on most recently was kind of settled, knew what they were doing, and yeah, we were in a good run of working together type thing. So since moving, I haven't actually really advertised any more than I was before. Maybe I've like posted my inquiry link a couple of times. That's literally it. But I've had new people signing up literally like every week to 2 weeks since we moved, which is amazing. And obviously I'm incredibly grateful. I mean, it's put me in a really good position. Like, if you're self-employed, you will know that getting a mortgage when you're self-employed is not the easiest thing to do, which is also why I made sure to keep my full-time job until we had bought a house, because that was obviously the easiest way to get a mortgage through. But now I'm in a position where actually I can pursue my full-time coaching, and that's very exciting. So coaching is going really, really well, and I do have spaces. I'm still spacing people out with when I take them on. Like, I've just had someone sign up this week. This is their first week, so I'll probably wait 2 weeks before I take anyone else on now, just because I've had a lot of people sign up in a fairly short space of time. But if you are interested, then get in contact. There is my website link down below. You can just go on there and fill an inquiry form, and I'll get back to you within a day or so. Also on my Instagram, there is a inquiry form linked in my bio on my page that you can also click on and fill in, or you can just DM me if you have any questions specifically, but I would prefer people to fill in the forms, and then if you want to DM me as well, you can, just because it's easier for me to lose DMs, because I'm also quite bad, like if you're not a paying client, or an inquiring client. If you're not messaging me for business, if you're messaging me from like a personal life perspective, my replies aren't very quick, which is why all of my clients message me on WhatsApp, because I will always reply to my WhatsApps much, much quicker than I will any other platform. So you can always DM me if you have questions, and I will always try and get back as quickly as I possibly can, especially if I see it's someone new DMing me. But best thing to do is fill an inquiry form on my Instagram bio, that's in my Instagram bio, like the link in there, or website, and I will get an email through. I think my email is on my Instagram as well, to be fair. You can email me if you want to, but they are the best options. A lot of ramble. Yeah, coaching is going really well. Very happy with how that's going at the moment. And then the other question I was going to also ask, just quickly answer, is, do I have any advice for new coaches? Now, I could make a really long video on this. I could talk about this for ages. So I'm just going to try and give a fairly concise answer and just say, be willing to learn. Do not assume that you know everything already. Like, always be open to learning. Ask questions. Admit if you don't know something, but don't just say I don't know. Say I don't know, but I will find out. Like, this is where networking is really important. Like, I've always had other coaches that I know that I can ask questions to if I'm not sure, or like I've known which platforms and which coaches have like social media where they have informative content that you can find answers to common questions and things, and you can find answers to what you're looking for. Be willing to go down and research and see what other people do. Like, just basically be willing to learn, be open to learn. No one is expecting you to know everything, and I think that's something that a lot of new coaches struggle with. Like, you don't need to know everything, but you need to know where you can go to find the answers, and you need to be willing to go and learn more. They are like my main tips. It's just basically be a sponge and be willing to learn, but don't feel like you need to know everything. There is nothing wrong with admitting you don't know something, and I think that applies with everything in life. There is nothing wrong with saying I'm not sure, as long as you're willing to go and find out the answer. You can't just say I don't know and leave it at that. Like, that is not acceptable. The other thing as well that I think has helped me the most with coaching is I did work as an in-person trainer with a massive variety of people. It wasn't just powerlifters, it was like Gen Pop, loads of different people, loads of different age ranges, different experience levels. And that has given me so many skills in terms of being able to work with people no matter what level they're at, being able to spot things and explain how to tweak things in a way that other people can actually understand and digest. Like, it's one thing having all of this knowledge about, let's say, technical knowledge, like a technique, knowing what tweaks someone needs to make, but if you can't explain that to someone in general terms, that's not going to work. Like, you can have all the knowledge in the world, you can be the smartest coach ever to have lived, but if you can't explain things in a way that the average person can understand, then that's not going to make you a good coach. Like, you need to have those people skills to be able to do that. And that is probably, I think, the most valuable thing for coaches. Like, not every online coach has to have worked in person to be an amazing online coach. Like, there are plenty of good coaches that have never worked in person. But I do think that it does give you a skill set that is very much like underrated in online coaching. So that's like my main advice, I think, for new coaches. But anyway, that was a lot more talking than planned, so I am sorry, but I do think I say that most videos, so if you're still here, you're probably used to it by now. But thank you if you have made it this far. I will start my Road to Commonwealth series after week 4 is done. So I've got 2 more videos for next week of my 2 week 4 sessions, my 2 main sessions, and then we will be ready to work towards Commonwealth, which is kind of exciting. I think I'm quite happy that I have kind of other life events happening, like my friend's hen do, my friend's wedding. Like, I've got other things happening between now and Commonwealth that means I can't get all consumed in just thinking of my comp. And I think that will do wonders for me, like mentally getting closer to comp. Unless I go away and gain like 4 or 5 kilos and then I just can't make weight, which obviously isn't going to happen. But yeah, I'm feeling good. Okay, I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you have made it this far, thank you. Please leave a like, please leave a comment, let me know what you think of the video, let me know if you have any questions you want me to answer in other videos, let me know if you've got any ideas of other content you want to see, anything like that. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, and I will see you on Friday for the next video.